it's a little chilly. This is Tess
Yeah.
Kindred. We are finally hooking up.
Yes. And I
Um,
love Miss Iva.
and I don't even know how to describe you. It is a Southern storyteller.
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me,
Yes.
I mean, I've got to go into, tell us a little bit about
Okay.
yourself.
Well, I haven't done TV or radio in like 5 years, so I'm a little rusty. But I'm a writer. I write Southern humor. I've written for probably about 40 papers, 50 papers, somewhere in there. And I just love, I'm a small town girl. I love people, local people, and I just like to see the humor in life. It makes life easier, doesn't
It
it?
sure does.
Oh, yeah. If you don't laugh, you'll cry, right? That's it. So I like to tell stories, and some of my favorite stories to tell are about my Greene County Appalachian family from, it's a little town called Fall Branch. And my family goes back there 237 years, and they're a fired up bunch. Honey,
It's 250th is going to be a big deal.
huh?
This 250th anniversary is going to be a big deal in America. A fired up bunch. All right, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Okay, I missed it. I'm
Yep.
slow on the uptake. Well, anyway, yeah, they're hilarious. All my aunts were just pistols, honey, like you ain't never seen. One time, my aunt Norma was a teenager, and they lived on family land, which was 8 acres, kind of on a hill, and all my family lived on there. And Aunt Norma was a teenager, and she was a pretty girl, and she was getting changed. And she looked around, she noticed this boy from school looking at her through the window. Honey, she went running into the kitchen and grabbed up the shotgun. And my mama said, because she couldn't hardly do anything with those girls, she said, Norma, where are you going with that shotgun? She said, I'm fixing to kill him. And she ran out of that house and ran after him through the woods and was shooting at him. And it was so funny, but all my aunts are like that.
Sure.
And my Aunt Nova was 95 pounds soaking wet. You would have loved her. She was something, and she was feisty. And what was I going to tell? One time one of her favorite sayings, like if you saw somebody that was sick, they looked poorly, she'd say, they look like death sucking on a soda cracker. That's what she said. It was hilarious. And then my Aunt Zeta was her bigger sister. She was the oldest in the family. My mother died when I was 26, and she was the favorite in the family because she was such a good girl. She read her Bible through by the time she was 15. She was just an angel. And so Aunt Zeta and Aunt Nova and Aunt Norma, they all took over, and they were my mothers, which is good Appalachian people. And my Aunt Zeta was just fired up. And as she got older, when she was like in her 80s, she would drive down this route up there called 93, and it's like riding a snake back. And she would be driving it, and she wouldn't pay attention to speed, and she'd be doing about 80. And I would be riding with her because you didn't say anything to Aunt Zeta. And I'd just be clinging on like this, and she'd be driving and fussing and carrying on. And if the police stopped her, she'd point that long manicured finger at him, and she'd say, listen here, I have never had a ticket, and you're not about to break my perfect driving record today. Do you understand me? And the police officer would always say, yes, ma'am, just please try to slow down a little bit. She'd just push her window up and go on 85 miles an hour again. So that's what she was like. But I have a funny story if you have time. I'd like to read it.
Yeah, like I said, this is novel to me. I love it.
Aunt Zeta pulled me out of so many messes, and I was not like my mother. I was a hellion, quite frankly, and always messing up and doing crazy things. Not bad things, but just goofy. And she was always rescuing me out of it. So this is a column that I wrote. It said, it was talking about a heat wave. I said, My daughters are always astounded at the pickles I managed to get myself into. Here's the latest. It was July the 1st, and I had plans to nanny for a prominent attorney that had hired me. I said, and it was a glorious summer day. I had gotten up early, had a nice breakfast, and decided to go for a bike ride around my neighborhood. I love my bike. It rides like an old-fashioned girl's Schwinn bicycle. I always ride it through a neighboring subdivision that has big hills. The hills remind me of biking when I was a girl on my street. Sometimes, unfortunately, I still think I am a young girl who can pull stunts. I was gliding down one of the bigger hills, doing a sort of sashay from one side of the street to other, and oh Lord, will I ever learn? I grazed the curb on one of my sachets and knew immediately I was in big trouble. I lost control of the bike completely. I flew over the handlebars and landed 2 inches from a concrete driveway. I just laid real still for about 5 minutes to make sure my heart got stabilized. I prayed that someone would come and save me, but there wasn't anyone home. I had on my favorite red checkered summer dress, and it was up to my waist, so it was probably just as well no one was home. I finally managed to move. The pain was horrible. The brakes on my bike were broken. I immediately called my poor dear long-suffering Aunt Zeta and cried into the phone, Aunt Zeta, you will need to come and get me. I've had a bike wreck and I need to go to the ER. Poor Aunt Zeta, she is forever rescuing me out of these situations. As I walked my bike gingerly back to my cabin, I thought to myself, I better get ready for the lecture. Aunt Zeta's going to have a good one. Now, in previous columns, I have described my Aunt Zeta. She is a hoot. She is my best protector, defender, and honey, when I say she will fight to protect me, I'm not even kidding. She is 81 years young, keeps her hair just perfect, and has her nails done at the salon. She was purebred, Bible Belt, fighting fire. This is a side point, but I had an ex that bothered me for years, and Aunt Zeta called the sheriff of Greene County and told him that if this ex didn't leave me alone, he was leaving our family property feet first. She meant business. She wasn't playing. The sheriff said, Aunt Zeta, I can't give you permission to shoot nobody. And she said, I wasn't calling to ask your permission. I was calling to tell you what's going to happen. So he, needless to say, he got wind of that and he didn't show up. But anyway, as soon as I walked into the cabin, I went straight to the cabinet and took aspirin. Then I went to the freezer and grabbed a bag of peas that my friend Annie had given me the month before. I know from personal experience that a bag of frozen peas works wonders on a sprain. The ring on my left hand was bent and I knew it was broken. I have had a whiplash before and I was pretty sure I had another one. I kept alternating the peas from my finger to my neck. Aunt Zeta rolled up in her SUV with Zeta on her license plate. I got in. We got to the ER and they took me right back. Aunt Zeta waited in the waiting room. The nurse put me in a hospital gown. A second, I lost my spot there. And a neck brace. I laid on the hospital bed with my little bag of peas. I couldn't see very far because of the neck brace. As I lay there, I thought, Aunt Zeta never gave me a lecture. Poor Aunt Zeta, she's give up on me. She's not going to waste her breath anymore with warning lectures. Presently, the doctor came in and gave me a look over. He was pretty cute. I decided he could give me a look over. Suddenly, about halfway through the examination, he started laughing. That's hysterical. You're covered in peas. Why are you covered in peas? I earnestly looked at him over my neck brace and responded, They are frozen peas for my finger and neck, and the bag must have broken. He was laughing so much he could barely put in the order to have me sent to X-ray. I was in such terrible pain that I forgot about the peas, and the nurse wheeled me on my bed to X-ray. I was wheeled past the nurse's station up and back. When I got back to my room, several more hospital staff came to my room for various things, and they were all chit-chatting among themselves, trying to figure out why there was a trail of peas all the way to the X-ray department. Having never known when to hush, I spoke up and told them that it was me and my little bag of frozen peas. The doctor came back to see me after he got the x-ray results and told me I did have a broken finger and whiplash. They put a splint on my finger and gave me prescriptions. I'm almost done, but this is the funny part.
I'm amused.
Okay. After the doctor left, I begged the nurse, real pitiful, if I could wear the hospital gown home because I knew I'd never get my little red checkered dress back on with the excruciating pain. She said, yes, honey, just wear it home. I was released and slowly made my way toward the exit past the nurse's desk. I usually wave and say goodbye, but I just kept walking. I went through the exit doors and was nearly back to Aunt Zeta when the ER doors burst open behind me, and out came a female and a male nurse. The male nurse says, excuse me, ma'am, where are you going? I thought, they think I haven't gotten released because I'm wearing a hospital gown. I quickly explained the situation. The male orderly started cracking up, laughing. We thought you were an escaped mental patient. Not missing a single beat, Aunt Zeta sharply replied, you have no idea how close to the truth you really are. The nurses went back to the nurses' station, and no sooner had Aunt Zeta and I got through the ER doors toward the parking lot when I got my Aunt Zeta lecture. Teresa Ann, if I ever catch you on another bike, I will kick your rear end. Do you hear me? Only rear end was not exactly the wordage, but I won't put that. You get the general idea, dear reader. A Southern girl's got to have a lecture from Mama every so often to make her feel loved and secure. I feel downright loved and secure, y'all, and I'm not going against Aunt Zeta. I will not be riding bikes anytime soon. Maybe I can go jet skiing this summer. So that's a true story. And Zeta put her through that stuff all the time. And I don't know if I can tell you a quick one about Aunt Zeta with guns.
I love me some Aunt Zeta.
Oh,
I had
you
Aunt
would
Zeta.
love her. I'll show you her picture. She's a beautiful woman. I feel like I'm doing a tribute for her.
Good.
Yeah, I loved her. Everybody loved her. Y'all would love her. But anyway, my Uncle Lowell died, her little brother, and he always carried a little .22 pearl-handled pistol in his pocket. Do you care if I tell this? I don't know if I should
my
tell
grandmother
it.
had one.
Okay.
Yeah. You're
And,
in the mountain, girl. You tell whatever you need to.
Yeah, okay. So I said, Aunt Zeta, whatever happened to Uncle Lowell's little pistol with the ivory handle? Because I was wanting it as a keepsake from him. She said, why, Teresa, you can't, that gun won't kill nobody. I said, well, Aunt Zeta, you could shoot somebody in the knees and keep them from coming. Is that okay to tell?
Absolutely.
And she said, Teresa Ann, you don't shoot somebody in the kneecaps. You do a headshot or a heart shot. And honey, she wasn't playing.
She wasn't playing.
No, people didn't mess with Aunt Zeta. She had that pistol down in that QVC purse. And after she played piano at the local church, she could sure enough whip it out if she needed to. I feel so blessed I ever had my aunts. They were awesome. They were.
Well, everybody needs a Mima. Everybody needs a Mama.
Yes, they do.
Everybody needs those kinds of people to be fierce for them.
Yes, they do.
That's
they
how
really
we survive.
Do. Yes, is your mom?
Mom passed when I was 30. So
Just like me.
Yeah.
We have a lot in common.
We do have a lot in common.
Yeah, we do.
I love these stories. Where can we read up on any of these? Is there a place that we can find them?
Yeah, I'm writing for the Marion County Tribune, which I love because
good.
that's I went to school there. It's my little hometown.
Oh.
Love Jasper.
Yeah.
And then I write for the Tullahoma News.
Nice.
And the Winchester News Herald.
Nice.
And the Hancock County Eagle. I've written for them for years. That's where Morgan Wallen's from. He's so
he
sexy.
Is really.
Yeah. I'll just say it. He's sexy. I wrote a column about him one time.
Did you?
I hope you read it. Yeah. But anyway, so I've written for them for years. Then I've written for the Rogersville Review since 2014.
Okay.
They're the oldest newspaper in the state. Very historical newspaper.
What's the name of it?
The Rogersville Review. They're an award-winning historical paper. They've got a great hometown story.
Wow, is that in Greene County?
No, that is in Hawkins County.
Hawkins.
Yeah.
That's
Hawkins
up there.
County.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd love it up there.
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
like all of Tennessee, don't you?
I do too.
I'm a Tennessee girl.
I'm going anywhere. I'm gonna be cremated here and just be spread out.
Yeah, I want to be buried, and I want everybody. I've got my outfit picked out, and I want everybody to come and say, "Oh Lord, she looks so pretty today in that coffin." That's what I want people to say.
Do you have your music picked out? I mean, every Southern woman has their music picked out.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
We do. We have to have our theme songs playing.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what mine is. I think it's a pretty Irish song that I thought my dad would like.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty Irish song.
Yeah,
I can't remember. It's called when my morning comes around. I think I'll start crying. Isn't that beautiful?
That is a beautiful one.
It is.
And that's Appalachia. So your background, like I always say, I'm 7th generation on both sides. That's pretty much you in East Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am.
That's so awesome.
237 years.
That's right.
I loved going down to the Munchies. It's the gas station restaurant.
Okay.
Hanging out with the little old men down there. They were so funny.
Just sitting out, John. Telling tall tales.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was funny. And they all got that pistol, And then the mayor of Fall Branch, his name's Johnny. He had his pistol on one day. And I don't know what he did, but he stood up and it went off and he shot a hole through the floor. Anyway, I love Southerners.
Did they all have nicknames like we do?
He called me T. Johnny always calls me T. Yeah. And I just call him Jesse James now.
Jesse James?
Yeah.
That's so funny.
He loves it. Makes him feel good, Tough. He's Jesse James now.
Well, maybe I can convince Lisa to, when I need to take a break, to have you guest column over at the Herald, since you're all surrounding us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I've written for them a few times, but it's a tiny newspaper.
It's super tiny.
Yeah, but if you
like
could put a word in, I would appreciate it. And I'll just do a little column so that...
I do about 700 words.
I read your column.
Yeah,
That's how I know what's going on in the community. I wouldn't know what's going on if I didn't keep up with you.
We have a lot going on, and we are so blessed. So
yeah, I agree.
Welcome here.
Thank you. I love it here.
Well, maybe we'll have to have you back and talk more about the fun people that you talk about.
Okay, thank you so much for having me. I had a good time.
And it's Tess Kindred. You can find you on Facebook.
Yes, and you can look under Teresa Kindred Rogersville Review.
Rogersville Review.
Yeah.
Do a little Google on her.